What's up, gang? This is Bry with Eagles Real Talk. The Fly is covering the Eagles on YouTube. Thank you for tapping in with me today. We're going to be going over the Eagles matchup against the Bears in Chicago on Sunday. It should be a good game for the Eagles. Another one to add to our list. Another W that we can throw up there. We should be going 13-1. Going over the stats, kind of going over the specs of, our opponent, the Bears. They're not looking like they're even on our level. Let's get straight into it. So in the passing game, they obviously have Justin Fields. He has 13 touchdowns with 10 picks. So that ratio doesn't bode well going up against, one of, if not the best defensive team in the league. And I'm talking about the Birds. On our side of the ball, obviously, we got the MVP. If he's not your MVP, you're probably just a hater like Micah Parsons. But at this point, he is the best, most efficient quarterback in the league. 22 touchdowns with only 3 interceptions. I mean, the guy's ratio, it leads to wins, and that's why we do have the record that we have now. Yes, this is a team game, but at the end of the day, it's in the quarterback's hands. Literally, it's in the quarterback's hands. So Jalen Hurts has been getting it done. Over 3,000 yards, passing. He obviously is taking care of business on the ground as well. 10 touchdowns or 9 or 10 touchdowns rushing, so he's taking care of business on all fronts. I've called him the UPS man before because he delivers through the air and on the ground. He always gets it to the end zone. So this guy has been killing it. We also have, Miles Sanders, who just crossed over the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career. He has 11 touchdowns on the ground. All of our best weapons on offense have over 10 touchdowns, and that's crazy. I think Dallas Goedert would be there too if it wasn't for his shoulder injury. So this team is playing so good on offense. There's not many holes, if any holes at all. Obviously, we know what the offensive line has been doing for Jalen Hurts in the run game. On their side of the ball, their best runner is their quarterback. They don't have that, explosive offensive weapon to hand the ball off to. Khalil Herbert was actually doing solid for them, but he went down. He's on IR, and Montgomery is also dealing with the injury, so he may not even play, as he's listed as questionable as of now. Justin Fields, he's been amazing running the ball, though. Don't get me wrong, he broke Mike Vick's record this year. He has over 900 yards on the season, and he's missed a few games with injuries. This week he's been dealing with the illness, but he was back full at practice, so he should be a good to go on Sunday. He also has 8 touchdowns on the ground as well, so he's a weapon in the red zone. He can also break it off for 50-60 yard runs as he's done this year. I wouldn't put a spy on him necessarily, but if we shut him down, they don't really have a hope or a prayer in this game because their offensive weapons, they're just weak. Let's be honest. Their best wide receiver, I guess Mooney. I guess you can say Claypool, but he has a small sample size being that he got traded from the Steelers mid-season, and he's also questionable as well. So Mooney has 40 receptions with 493 yards, so he hasn't even eclipsed, the 500 mark yet with only 2 touchdowns. When you're comparing, their pass game to our pass game, we'll just say A.J. Brown has doubled his yards per game, or his yards for the season. AJ Brown has 1,020 yards on the year with 10 touchdowns to Mooney's 2 touchdowns. So it's not even close here. If you just look at the numbers alone, I wouldn't give the Bears much of a chance. ESPN gives them a 15.6 chance to win this game. I would give them maybe 10%, maybe less. At this point, they would need a miracle to beat us. On the injury report, Dallas Goedert, he should be back this game. So he's been activated off the IR, the 21-day window where he could play this week. I actually don't mind him sitting this week. I think we could, rest him, bring Dallas back for the Dallas game next Saturday on Christmas Eve, which is obviously the most important game on our schedule going forward as far as seeding and divisional and all of that. On their side of the ball, I mentioned Montgomery, Claypool, 2 guys that are questionable to play this week. We'll see how it goes, but I think those guys will probably end up playing. They'll probably get it out. As far as the over-under, it's 48.5. The Eagles are favored by 9 9 points. So I would go, if I was a betting man, I would probably bet money on both of those to go over the 48.5. I think the Eagles will probably score in the 30s, and the Bears will probably get 13 points or so. But yeah, I would definitely go Eagles over the 9-point spread. As far as the points per game and the team stats, not looking good for the Bears. The Bears are only scoring 20 points per game to the Eagles 30 points per game. Points allowed, the Bears are allowing 25.5, and the Eagles, great defense, only allowing 19.1. So it's not looking good for the Bears. The Bears are going to need a Chicago early Christmas miracle to beat the Eagles. They've lost their last 5 games, while the Eagles have won 4 of their last 5. So it's going to be a cold game in Chicago, probably a lot of wind. So I would expect a grounded pound game, kind of similar to last week. The Eagles will probably do a little bit of both, just because they have AJ and Devontae and Quez, and if Dallas Goedert is back, there's going to be guys wide open against the Bears. So we may throw it all around the yard, but I expect probably 3 rushing touchdowns. I would expect Miles Sanders to have over 100 yards again in this game, and I expect us to be resting our guys in the fourth quarter. Gardner Minshew should go in there with Pascal and the boys and Kenny Gainwell and put up a few more touchdowns on them in the fourth, and this should be a blowout win. I have the Eagles winning this 40-13. Go Birds, and we're gonna go to 13-1, and all we need is one more win against Dallas to clinch the number 1 seed. So if you feel like the Eagles will win this game and win the next week as well, you let me know in the comments. I have us running the table, possibly sitting our guys the last week, but I think even if we do sit them, I think Gardner Minshew and the backups can beat the Giants at this point. So let me know in the comments how you feel about this game and how you feel about the outlook of us getting the number 1 seed, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. This is Bry with Eagles Real Talk. Keep it real always, man. You know the deal. Peace out.